Okay, so I'm not quite clear what I'm doing here. So the rules, the normal rules for Battle for Normandy say that you break down, that you place your battalions into the hexes, into the phases. There are some that are designated, like you have to put a certain counter in a certain phase, but most of them are pretty free. So that's kind of cool, allows you some freedom about where you're going to put some infantry or DD tanks or engineers or stuff. So it's kind of cool. There's some flexibility there. But you're only allowed one battalion or 3 companies in each landing phase. And once you get to the beach, you can have 6 stacking units, 6 stacking points as normal. Well, okay, so I wanted, then there's an optional rule where you can do battalions. I'm just trying it because I thought, well, you know, it's a little bit less of a hassle, a little less rolling and all that. But there's a little bit of a difference here though. So I'm not breaking down, so normally DD tanks, like here it says 6 for this, 5 for Juno, 5 for gold, except for in Juno you can't land the first phase, or you can't land in the first some of the June 6 because they were late. So I guess, you know, they don't want to, anyway. So what am I trying to say here? So you can break, so you break these down into companies, and you can combine, like, you know, a DD tank company with 2 other companies. So again, you're not breaking that rule. Well, here I'm not breaking them down, and I could break them down and kind of spread them out over here amongst all these things, but I'm like, I don't know, if I'm not breaking them down, I'm not breaking them down. But then I can't land any on my first unit because that's a whole battalion. So I'm not quite clear what I should be doing here. Even if I do a company, I can't put them with these because it breaks the stacking rules in the phases. So I thought, well, if I can't do it, I might as well just do it this way. So it says I can land 6 points of DD, you know, 6 DD tanks. I don't know if that's 6 or 6 points. I'll have to look at that. So I'm just putting 1 per, you know, and I'm putting it on a battalion. So, and I'm doing that here and over here. So, all right, that's that. So I'm going to start doing the rolling. I don't know if I'm doing that right, but I'm trying the battalion method just to lessen the number of rolls. So we'll see how it goes. That was a long intro ramble. See ya. Yeah, I'll do the rolls and then I'll come back. So I won't make this a separate video. So, all right, we'll see after I do the rolling. Okay, so pretty good drift because 7, 7, and 8. So if you roll that number or less, there's no drift. So pretty unlikely on a D10. And yeah, I just had a little bit of drift. The big thing was my DD tank. So a battalion here, a battalion here. You have to roll a 5 or less here and a 6 or less here. Now I failed. So, and they both died. So no DD tanks on there. But that's not that unusual, really. But these numbers are higher than I thought. I mean, that, you know, 50% chance and a 60% chance of survival. So it's pretty good. Most of the drifting, I only had 2 units stuck in the water, or, you know, in their boats circling out there to try to find some room to get on, some commandos and this unit down here from the 50th Division. So there's some units stacked up. So basically you go left to right, so west to east. So they start going here. And if there's a lot of, you know, if there's some drift, then this guy moves over here. So what happened is this guy drifted here and another guy, and then this guy didn't drift, but he couldn't get on there because the beach is now full, which I think is pretty fun. I think that's pretty cool. This only happens in the first phase, and then everyone can start moving on, and you can stack up to 6 in a beach hex. So you really want to start getting these guys off so the other phases can come on. I'm not sure when you start. I think you start combining companies after all the phases, I'm guessing. But I don't have to worry about that this time. So not bad. So the next one, let's look at the next, what happens in these phases now. It's a little different than the airborne. So let's look at the rule book here. I'll just share it with you. Okay, so looks like we've got the Allied landing segment, check for drift on phase 1, did that. German defensive fire segment. So that'll be next. That'll be the next video. And then Allied fire, and then German movement segment. And then that'll be after that. And then we'll just repeat that. I may just do quick videos after 2 and 3 just to talk about what happened. I don't know, I guess it's a whole phase. I'll probably just do it after each phase, see what happens. Okay, and then we'll do the end phase. Oh yeah, regroup at the end. So, blah, blah, blah. There you go. Cool. All right, we'll see y'all after the German defensive fire.